Okay, we're going to do this really fast. This is the third time today, so hopefully it won't cut out on me, and if it does, I may just not make this video. Okay, something that I wanted to talk to you about for a while, something that is also very near and dear to my heart, is jewelry. It's something that's always been a part of my life, and I've always been around because we've had a family business that I'm not directly involved with or anything, but I've always been around jewelry. Jewelry is something that has been gifted, and um, now I'm starting that with Paige. It's just something very special. I have a lot of special jewelry in my life. So, one thing I wanted to tell you guys about was kind of like altering jewelry. If you find things in thrift stores or at, let's say, like Forever 21, and you don't love the way it's strung, or you don't love the length, or you really hate everything about the piece of jewelry except one part, these are all things that you can change. So, case in point, Justin was in Guatemala a while back for work and came home with some gifts for us, which is very sweet. So Paige and I got necklaces, and this is Paige's necklace, which she loves. You know, it's super cute for a little girl. In particular, the stones are really pretty. So, like, this would be really pretty taken off of this and just strung on a sterling chain. You know, this would be really, really nice. These stones are also particularly pretty, but the rest of it is not so pretty. And then what really bothers me is this little screw closure, because they tend to unscrew and fall off. They tend to get your hair caught in them. They're not my favorite. So we're going to fix this one for Paige. But in the meantime, I've already fixed mine. So my necklace was this large turquoise stone, which is super pretty, right? But it was strung on the same kind of little funky beads. It was too short. Same little screw closure in the back, but I loved this part. So I went to Joann's. Pretty much most of the craft stores now have like a jewelry or a beading section, and there you can find things like different types of chain, different closures for very inexpensive. And you don't need to think like you really need to know what you're doing as far as this. You just need a pair of needle nose pliers. That's about it. So what I did was I cut the string that this was strung on. I took all the beads off, and obviously kept this. And then at the store, I purchased this length of chain, which is nice and long for me because this is kind of like a huge, chunky thing. So I wanted it long. I didn't want it short. And I purchased the little closure, which I decided to do, I don't know the actual term for this, but it's like a bar and a circle that you fit inside each other. And then the only thing I had to purchase were jump rings, which I should have around because I've done enough jewelry projects, but the jump ring is just this little ring right here, and they're easily bendable, whatever, so you can open them and attach the closure to the chain. On this particular piece, because it's so heavy, I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't break, and I don't have soldering things. You can solder a jump ring shut, that way you know it's not going to open, it's not going to get bent open against it. But I just doubled up jump rings because I don't have that. So instead of putting one jump ring on to attach this to the chain, I just did two. That way it's kind of like insurance, and I did that here, and then I also did it when I attached the turquoise to the chain. This might be a little too much for some people, but for me, I kind of enjoy large jewelry, and I just really thought this was kind of a cute look. It looks really cute just with like a white t-shirt and jeans and like a sweater thrown on. I really like that, and I think all together, I mean, obviously the jump ring, the bag of jump rings came with like 36 jump rings or something, but the jump rings, this chain, and the closure, I think all together was like $5. So $5 to make something into something else, I think is a pretty good deal. Two other examples are, my mom had given me this charm, which just has an A, a lowercase a engraved in it. It's really, really pretty, and it came on a chunky gold bracelet, kind of like as a charm bracelet, which I love. But what's great about this charm is it comes on a lobster clasp, so I could just take it off the charm bracelet and I just attached it to this large, longer gold chain. It's not real gold, it's fake. But this also looks super cute. I'm going to end up looking like a rapper. I'm going to have so many things around me. This one is also very cute, long, and just with t-shirts and stuff, and it just adds something kind of different and special to an outfit, and I love this. I wear this a lot. And the last thing is also just another example of switching up the chain and the presentation. I'd ordered this a few years back as a Mother's Day present for myself off of Etsy, and I don't remember the seller's name, but you probably could search it and figure out who it is. She just prints out these little silhouettes, and you can pick like a boy or a girl or two boys or whatever, and kind of like the age range of your child so you can get the height right. So I picked this little boy and this little girl. You could probably tell how old the kids were when I did it based on their silhouettes. But anyway, it was not expensive, and really all she does, I think, is glue it in and maybe Mod Podge or do some kind of sealant over the top. This is just like a little brass, I don't even know what you would call this. But anyway, not expensive. But the chain it came on was short, so I think that probably was an option that you could. She would charge you more to do a longer chain. I really don't recall, but I know I always have long chains laying around. So this is another one that I took off, added a jump ring, and put it on a long chain. So the point or the trend you can see here is that if there's something that you don't like about a particular piece of jewelry, jewelry is very changeable that way. Like, if you don't like it, change it. And what's cool about it is most of the time, like, even if you find like a pair of old earrings like at the thrift store or something, that could easily be changed into a necklace. Like the way the backings are on a lot of things can be broken off, things can be super glued to other things. And if you spend even just maybe 5 minutes in the jewelry findings section at your craft store, you'll see that there's all sorts of things that you can buy to change and to alter jewelry pieces. So if you're ever out and you see something you just think is really cool but you don't know quite what to do with it, or you're at Forever 21 and there's something that you like but part of it is really weird or flashy or whatever, just always think, I can change this, I can make this into something different. And you can, and it's super easy. So that's kind of the lesson today, and I hope that it's like a helpful tip for you, especially as you're out shopping and thinking about the holidays. My advice to you would be to start thinking about those things now and kind of create a budget for yourself over the next 2 months, as opposed to cramming in all your shopping right before and spending more money than you would really like to. Maybe like make a list of all the people you need to shop for now and kind of set a budget for yourself. And while you're out, think about these things. What could I do with this to make it something that would be more my style or more someone else's style? And you can give your friend a one-of-a-kind gift. I think it's a really fun way to change things up and to be creative and, you know, to recycle. So anyway, that's my tip for you today, and I hope you guys are having a great week. Okay, bye.